Season's greetings, Stalkers, and welcome back to the Grymm Mansion. I'm your jolly host, Weird Eldritch, and I was joined yesternight, I am joined tonight, and I will be joined tomorrow by my fellow
Abomination. Merry Yule.
Merry Yule to you too.
Merry Yule to those who celebrate. We here at the Grymm Mansion, we respect most religions. So, whatever your version of Yule is out there, hope you have a good one, I guess.
Get that log burning and
beware of the Krampus.
Make your goat effigies because we brought you although this is not a special episode, we decided to bring you something in theme with the season.
It's special in a way, but it's not like a special, you know what I mean?
So grab yourselves a warm cup of blood and kick back on your flesh chairs and join us. For tonight, we are talking about the mean one. The candles have been lit, the circles have been closed, the words of power have been recited. Let us begin tonight's gathering.
So, how do we approach this? We've got a green... I mean, should we even, reveal already? The movie makes it pretty mysterious, although it's not really, because we know what it is. This is a horror movie that's more on the side of, I would say, more of a parody,
it's a spoof.
It's a spoof, yeah, and I think it's refreshing to see a more realistic version, if you call that. It's more badass. It's more grotesque in the way that I think you and I can appreciate. Because, to be honest, Seuss is for little children. We need some stuff for grown men and unmen. Wow.
And women, and then women too, and all of those in
we
between.
We are unmen.
Well, yeah. I don't know what we are, but
I'm beyond.
I think monster would be more appropriate.
Sure, yeah. We're stalkers. That's what we are. How we identify as. So yeah.
Yeah, let's just get to it. The story goes out the window very quickly after you've been set up with just a refresher about what it is. And then it just rewinds back to the point where instead of having a literal heart-growing moment with Cindy, our fellow Green Claws is met with hostility from Cindy, you-know-who's mother. Actually, from Mrs. You-know-who. And they have like an all-out brawl where he ends up killing her by accident. All in front of Cindy's eyes. And then this...
I mean, in self-defense.
Yeah, honestly, it was in self-defense, because she was like, get back, it's a monster, and she's whacking it with something and they have a scuffle.
Yeah, no Carcosa conventions were violated.
No, definitely not. So once Cindy just sees all of this blood, she starts screaming, you monster! And these words stay with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and with hers as well, because this has essentially traumatized this woman, Cindy, for life.
She's diagnosed with PTSD.
Mm-hmm. We see this is like 20 years later. Cindy and her father are coming back to the place where it all happened. What is it called?
Whoville.
Forgot.
Well, now it's called Newsville.
Newville, not Newsville. Newville. It's right here. It's right here.
Because they couldn't call it Whoville because, you know.
So they arrive at Newville, and a police car stops them. And we have one of the weirdest interactions of this movie, in my opinion. It's kind of funny because their car has Christmas decorations on it, and so they can't do that. Regulations of the village.
Yeah,
Apparently,
let's just go ahead and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let's just go ahead and take the cat out of the bag. This town has been traumatized by this event. No one
Yes.
is allowed to celebrate Christmas. We will get to why later, but let's just put it as it is. Go on.
Yeah, you assume that pretty quickly. Yeah. So this
Should have. What a wasted opportunity to say, let's take the hat out of the cat. Anyway,
what was it? Okay.
they're stopped by police, and it's a
deacon.
Deacon?
Yeah. So isn't he a deacon?
Burke. Wait, what was his name? Was Burke? Yeah, his name is Burke.
I'm saying
Deputy.
the deputy. There we go.
Yeah.
Deacon is something else. So the deputy seems to have kind of a weird chemistry going on with Cindy, but it is implied that he is a new police in town. So as he doesn't have a lot of experience. So he does say that, like, there's these new regulations that he doesn't understand. Like, he has to enforce the law, but he doesn't understand the law. He doesn't understand why it's there. Yeah, so they arrive at their house, and because she's traumatized, it's been established that it was her doctor that requested her to revisit that house so she can, I guess,
face her trauma and get over it, and
like, I guess, exposure therapy, kind of resolve that. And so they put up a bunch of decorations, all these heretic, ugly, disgusting decorations.
Yeah, they're celebrating
Christmas.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, the one we don't like.
the one that was stolen
Yes.
from us.
Right, because we invented. I'm sorry, but we invented.
Christmas.
We invented that holiday. Okay, it is our holiday.
Holiday appropriation.
So, yes, very much so. Those Romans, those damn Romans. Anyway,
To be fair, it was originally a Roman holiday too. Sol Invictus.
yes, but it was not. It was different. It was separate. There were
Yeah,
separate
Yule
things.
is Nordic. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, let's not get into this now. Yes.
We could be discussing
later,
this like all night. Yeah.
Cindy has nightmares through the night. She doesn't sleep very well. And next morning, she goes out to have a drink at the bar. And she meets some familiar faces. There's clearly, I remember that the local mayor is running for office again.
Oh, running for re-election. Yeah.
And she's putting up posters and leaving stickers on people's lapels.
It's amazing how, like, we don't see any other person that she's running against. So it's really funny that she is putting so much effort into her campaign, even though she is the incumbent mayor. So it's like it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Kind of shows her ego in a way. Maybe
it's funny that when she sees Cindy, she has a reaction as if she knows this person. She is actively avoiding interacting with Cindy. After that, she sees the sheriff, and she has a flashback to the night where it all happened, where the sheriff is asking her to describe what the assailant that killed her mother. And yeah, we understand the origin of a sentence that she was repeating at the scene just before. What was it? Monsters aren't real. Exactly. Yeah.
Monsters aren't real. Yes.
She essentially draws a green man in a Santa outfit.
Oh yes. First image of the green one that we see. Also, I think it's we should have said this earlier, but this whole movie is narrated.
Oh right, yeah.
By one of the best narrations.
The narrator
I've ever
is the
heard
MVP in the movie. I want you all to know.
Yes, is doing the heavy lifting there. Yes.
So regardless, so let's just move this forward. The officer obviously doesn't believe her, and now that she's meeting her all these years later, she's still confronted with all of this. Dad shows up and gets her out of the situation, but Deputy is just smitten by Cindy. He's trying to ask her out or something.
Oh
so,
yeah, yeah. He's hooked. Meanwhile, there's an old-looking small Santa in a car drinking and watching all of this.
It's funny how he looks. True. But he's inside of a car, so it's not like his homeless or something, anything like that.
Yeah. So yeah, after this point, they're doing all the decoration and like there's a cool kind of they're dancing, they're singing, they're all really happy, I guess, because
They
in a
really
way,
want to infect the rest of the town with their holiday spirit.
yeah, and I think also kind of their like dad knows, they both suffered that loss, and so I think they're also trying to kind of erase that or
Yeah.
compensate for that. And then she goes to take out the trash,
No,
and
there's a little foreshadowing because the camera pans like back to the mountain, and we
Oh,
see our
yes.
first glimpse.
That.
And just like that, he's back there as she's taking out the trash, as you were saying. He's down at their house, just like that.
Yeah, there's been some foreshadowings here and there, some details. But yeah, she's taking out while she's taking out the trash, someone enters the house.
She thinks it's that closed the door as a joke.
But then, well, the dad starts screaming and fighting against something. Yeah, and then his head is pierced by, what was that again? It was one of those like spiky decorations. Actually,
It's candy cane. It was a candy cane,
oh, okay.
like a huge candy cane, I think.
It had like a spiky bit at the end. It's pretty cool actually. And yeah, so her dad was killed by.
Maybe it wasn't a candy cane.
And I'm not sure if we see the face of the. No, we don't see it yet because they're actually very very nicely pulling off the don't show the creature too early law from horror, so that's good on them.
And she wakes up as like we're led to believe that this was just another nightmare.
Nah, but she has blood on her.
She's in the hospital.
Yeah, and the mayor and the deputy are there. Trying to like understand what happened.
There's an Easter egg to one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Yeah. And it's interesting that this is when we start to see the deputy and the mayor have quite different opinions regarding this event. The mayor almost pretty much wants them to dismiss it, like to not even
drop the case.
Yeah.
Like a cover-up,
right? And this, and the deputy is kind of confused because like, why? Somebody got murdered. Like, isn't this?
He's new in town.
Serious? Yeah. But well, he has to follow the orders of his sheriff and etc. But he's conflicted at this point. And right, because he takes her home.
Deputy.
Burke Goldman. Yeah. Burke Goldman, the most Jewish name. Actually, it's not really, but. It is a pretty cliche.
It's just the way she says it, I guess. Yeah, they have this is all after she's been visiting her father at the cemetery, and he obviously wants some more out of her. He wants her to stay in town. She's saying that she's gonna leave. It was nice knowing him.
Yeah, and he gives her what is it? What was that thing? It was like one of those
matzo ball soup. It's a traditional Jewish soup.
There we go, yeah. She has a dream. I feel like... Okay. Oh, no. Before this.
Mayor goes up to visit.
Yes, we have a mayor jump scare.
The mayor jump scare was... it doesn't make any sense at this moment.
Yeah,
but it will later.
It's funny because it's the foreshadowing is so extreme that you're confused by it. It's
a secret instrument that will assist us further down the line.
Nice. Yeah, so it's essentially that same kind of conflict, but this time it's between the mayor and the sheriff, because the mayor essentially wants them to completely drop the case.
So she's going above the deputy.
Yeah.
She's going over the deputy.
Over the deputy, yeah. And the sheriff obliges, but you can see that he's also kind of conflicted. He's like, well, this isn't right. But...
they're hiding something. While Cindy's scraping up her dad from the floor, she finds a...
You didn't have to put it like that, but okay.
Well, she's not scraping, actually. She's scrubbing, thank you. She finds a rare mountain flower that leads her to a website that directs people to the mountain range where this flower can be found. And she decides to go on a little hike. She has the matzo ball soup, and she's taking pictures. When something flashes in front of her lens, and she's startled back into a pit.
Oh yeah, and she finds an ID in the snow.
Well, several.
Several. I mean, she only takes one, but
That's true. Fair enough.
yeah. And then when she gets out of the cave, she sees someone, like another
teens.
hiker.
It's 2 teens.
2 teens? I thought it was just
Yeah.
one.
No, they're kissing
right,
under,
right.
under mistletoe.
Right. It's that
Yeah.
reference. Yeah, right. And the this entity, this green one, this
This
one.
lean, mean, green killing machine.
Yeah. Thank you. Exactly. He appears and kills, if I remember correctly, then he kills the boy. He's going to kill the right, and
The girl is injured. Yeah.
yeah, the girl is injured. He's trying to kill the girl as well, but he's distracted by Cindy, who's
Hey, asshole!
yeah. Well, doesn't she like throw the
Yeah, she's throwing rocks.
right? Like could have taken a picture, but I guess I mean
Well, technically she did.
technically she did, and we'll find out the amazing picture that she took.
So she rushes to aid the girl and gets an ambulance there. While she's being, put into the ambulance in the gurney, or the gurney's being put into the ambulance, Burke is there and asks her to describe the assailant. The girl says that she couldn't see anything since her glasses were off, and Cindy starts insisting with her that she must have seen the monster.
Yeah, and then she shows the picture that she took. And if you have seen before the very famous Sasquatch
Bigfoot,
image,
whatever.
the Bigfoot photo, it is in the exact same. It's the same thing.
It's the same pose. Yeah, it's the same pose. It's
Same
hilarious.
pose. It's yeah. And and the sheriff is like, forces drop the idea of a monster. He's like, monsters aren't real. Blah blah blah.
But she doesn't give up.
Oh no, and there's an interesting detail, which is this murder or this incident happened outside of the jurisdiction of that sheriff. So
Yep. He can investigate.
They can investigate.
Even if he
That
wanted
actually,
to, he couldn't pursue.
Right, and that actually makes sense. I mean, they could have told somebody else, but whatever. Burke.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Yeah. Burke says that he understands where the sheriff's coming from, but he
has a duty still.
Yeah, and he's gonna see what's he's gonna like. I think she gives her the ID.
The ID that she found.
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes to investigate who it was and all that. Oh wait, and then Cindy goes.
Meanwhile, she's putting up flyers. Yeah.
Yes.
As she's putting up flyers, have you seen me? Big green furry. Or big furry green, however she puts it. I don't remember exactly.
Big green furry. That's how they should have called this movie. Actually, no, don't call it that.
And as she's putting them up, the mayor is following her, ripping them out.
Saying she's scaring the town and whatever.
Yeah. And at the same time, Burke is investigating on the disappearances, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's this big van going for SantaCon, all full of Santa, Mr. Clauses and Mrs. Clauses, even a guy dressed up in a tree.
Oh, yeah.
And they just absolutely invade a restaurant and decide to have a bite.
Oh, and they even, like,
it might not be... Sorry. I just
Yeah.
want to say something. It might not be the sheriff's territory, but it's definitely the mean ones.
Definitely.
Jurisdiction, I should have... Jurisdiction's the word, or whatever.
His terror is
Go on.
his lair, his backyard, I guess. So yeah, so they enter and they're complete chaos, and they even harass the waitress because apparently the waitress is alone in that restaurant, which is kind of
And they do harass her.
yeah, they
Which is
harass
what
her. The dude even tries to, like, I think, sexually assault her, like.
Yeah. He goes.
And she,
she's-
honestly, that was amazing because she doesn't even flinch when he grabs her by behind. She just does an elbow.
locks him.
Yeah, she just
Amazing.
elbows him in the face and he just falls on the floor.
Mhm.
I guess this happens quite often.
And as
then,
she's distracted doing whatever,
yeah, that's
the
when
body's no longer there.
hmm
She follows a trail of blood into the walk-in freezer and is locked inside because our fur little friend is about to have some fun.
Oh yeah. Then he murders everyone except her.
Yeah, because she's not dressed up.
Right, because it's interesting that I feel no. She's not a witch because I think this is outside of the town, so they don't have the same laws. But there's a surprising lack of decorations in this
Hmm.
place. Maybe it's because we'll talk about it later. But yeah, our green friend murders all of the guests in pretty creative ways. He does every possible thing. He smashes a woman's head with his
Yeah.
foot somehow. He pierces a guy with a candy cane.
He uses the ticket puncher to the receipt
Yeah,
puncher or the
as
order puncher
as a
to
weapon.
impale someone.
It's pretty
He gets
gruesome.
creative.
I appreciate that.
Same. Oh, the dip in oil. Oh no, it was the sausage thing.
Oh god, that
He
was
makes sausages out of
fuck.
someone.
That was
Even smashes a gingerbread cake.
that was gruesome stuff. And the guy, right, because the van's driver is outside swiping on one of those rectangles. I have no idea what he's doing. He says like left, right. I have no idea what that means. He's very focused, and he doesn't even notice all the commotion happening inside of the restaurant.
He does hear something inside, but he doesn't really even go check it.
Yeah.
Cut back to Cindy, who's still putting up flyers. The sheriff confronts her in the diner, asks her to take it down. And while they're arguing about whether or not this whole thing is a bust, there's a report, like a news report, the best acting I've ever seen in my life from a report. so absolutely sad. Who's essentially just confirmed, like reporting on what happened at the diner. And this is when Cindy. Sorry. I'm lost in my notes. Right. Okay. Sorry. After she goes home,
Yeah.
she's alone. She's checking like the lights went out or something.
Yeah, the lights go out, and then our green one appears.
Someone's trying to get in, and then a gunshot is heard.
Yeah. And she hides, and then she slaps the person that came in, and the person that came in was our old mall Santa.
Flask Santa.
And
Oh right, I just remembered his name.
yeah, and he even like does a witty comment of like, "Oh, you should hit harder than that," something like that. So yeah, he apparently
You're going to have to hit hard then.
Yeah, apparently he saved her life from that thing. He wants to explain. He's our exposition Santa.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to exposition his way to what am I saying? They go.
He wants to explain to her that she's not alone. That he believes in what she's saying. That he's also seen the
right. So they try to say the name, but they keep not saying the name. We never find out.
While Dr. Seuss is trying to say the. We also can't say it.
Yeah.
The bartender keeps screaming for a Mike Finch. And I just thought that this was hilarious. Way more hilarious than the pun on his name.
Oh, right.
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Oh my.
So this is when they start calling him the mean one.
Mm-hmm. Name dropping the movie. So this Zeus says that apparently his wife was killed also by this mean one, and he's been kind of
hunting it ever since.
Right, he's trying to like protect the town, like hunting it or something like that. And yeah, and so now Cindy's more reassured, like I'm not insane, like somebody agrees with me finally. Although it's funny because she says, "So I'm not insane," and he replies, "You're as sane as I am," which isn't saying much because he looks pretty. I was gonna use a word and I forgot. He looks alcoholic. Let's say it like that.
Yes, I mean,
He is.
To be fair, the mean one literally ripped his wife in half.
True. That is traumatizing. So
Yeah.
yes, he is like that. Yeah. So, yeah, Burke and Cindy, they kind of fall in yeah, and they do that thing that immortals do. They like start getting feelings for each other or whatever. She has a nightmare about the. Oh, sorry, can't say that.
It's fine.
She has a
Where are
nightmare
you
where.
going? The scene. There's a scene before where Burke goes out to investigate by himself and finds all these wallets.
Ah, right. Why do I not have that in my notes? Fuck.
There's this confrontation where Cindy talks to the sheriff about this one last time. He really doesn't want to pursue it, and Burke then decides to, I'll do you this favor.
Mhm.
He goes out in the mountains on the same hole that Cindy fell, and he starts finding wallets. He finds a corpse that he gets startled by,
Oh yeah.
and sits on, I think it's a reindeer. It's supposed to be Rudolph or probably Rudolph, obviously.
Yeah, it's
always Rudolph.
one of those toys that like start
Mhm.
music and that attracts our green friend. And Burke has to hide behind a rock while the mean one is trying to
He's
silence.
dragging still bodies from
Yeah.
from
But he said
the
he's been
thing.
killing. Yeah. Burke geniusly covers himself with like
A blanket or something.
yeah something that was there, and manages to outsmart the creature and survives that encounter with a couple more IDs for him to research.
As he's leaving that grotto, cave, whatever, he's confronted by
Oh yeah,
Zeus. Well, that's the first time we hear his name, by the way, Dr.
Yeah.
Zeus. So awful. This is when also Burke is confronted by the fact that the killer isn't really human.
right.
That's when he decides to head back to Cindy
Mhm.
and tell her that he now kinda sorta believes her.
Yeah. Now he's more convinced of her story,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's when they kind of they get warmer with each other, and then she's like dreaming about him and dreams that he's killed by the creature. At this point, she snaps. She's been more of a a cliche, pretty normal horror protagonist, I would say, and now she becomes an action protagonist. Now she turns into into an badass action hero,
Yeah,
and
there's a little montage.
she is adamant on killing the shit out of this thing, and she buys every type of weapon, everything she can get her hands on. Brooke even sees her in the store, and she's buying like, what was it, like
Everything.
knives,
Saws,
blades,
yeah.
yeah, and traps, and she's like really happy and stuff because I guess she has found a new purpose in life. I don't know.
To kill
Uh,
this thing.
Yeah, and it's really funny because she even like decorates the like she buys a bunch of guns, and she even decorates the guns
Mhm.
because she's trying to lure the thing into her house. So she buys a bunch of decorations. She just goes so much. It's so over the top. It's insane.
On the night where it's all supposed to go down, Doc is getting out completely wasted, and he's stopped by the sheriff, who puts him in jail for the night. The sheriff also then warns the mayor that is about to hit the fan, and the mayor's only reaction is to say that if she goes down, they both go down.
Mm-hmm.
There's this scene that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but it's just a kill of a guy that gets. He's waiting for stuff for the restaurant, and he erroneously gets a box of Christmas decorations.
Mm-hmm.
And just in the time of calling the guy to pick the things back up,
He said,
and the guy arriving.
What
Go
was
on.
it? It was I wanted uh what was it, berry tomato bell tomatoes? What was the thing?
Bell peppers, not jingle bells.
There we go. Bell peppers on jingle bells. And in the time he just like grabs one of them and just jingles it,
Mhm.
and that was enough to attract the creature.
To get put in a box.
Yeah, and he gets slashed and put in the box. But then they go and pick up and recover because he told them to do that. Wow.
Yeah.
Really didn't have to do that, but This thing is smart. I mean, it's been established already. I think this thing is pretty wicked and smart.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, at this point, I think this is when Burke finds out or goes to Cindy and exposes what a new evidence that he has discovered, which is all of the IDs of the people in the mountain. They're all hikers, and Cindy's like, okay, but what's your point? And he reveals that apparently there is a website that encourages people to go to that specific mountain to see that specific.
Yeah, the same website she found.
Right. And he goes into the I guess the source code or something, and he finds that apparently the person that is hosting the website is the mayor herself. Something's weird here. They're
And she's trying to skip town, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's trying to yeah. She's doing her like packing her things in the car and stuff. Even the sheriff says like, "Hey, I can't hide this forever. Like, what am I supposed to do?" And she's just like, "Do whatever you can to cover the truth, I guess." Which, I mean, what can you do when people start dying?
By some twist of fate, her car has some sort of electronic breakdown, starts blasting Christmas music,
Oh yeah,
and she gets murked.
she gets. I was gonna say. Oh no, I was gonna say something.
Go on.
She gets. I can't say that. Right. So this is when Burke. Now he's very suspicious of the mayor and the sheriff. He finds the sheriff talking to our Dr. Seuss, who is now being, he was arrested because he was drinking too much and driving, and he gets locked in jail. And Burke finds the two of them, so the sheriff and Doc, talking to each other, and he confronts what's going on. Like, I found, like, are you luring people to their deaths? This is when the sheriff reveals that indeed there was a conspiracy here. So the mayor and the sheriff had conspired to essentially cover up these events, to just dismiss them, to say, oh, it was like some random killings here and there. Of course, to save the town. Essentially, it's actually really funny because the sheriff is he is so good at his job. I guess like he's so adamant on protecting the town that he's willing to do anything. So yeah, they've been feeding the creature, giving them fresh hiker meat, you could say say that, to feed it and keep it contained in that mountain. It's interesting that the sheriff does show remorse for this.
Still made it on time. Better late than never.
Yeah, because Burke tries to convince, because Cindy's, is setting up all the traps and all the things, and Burke tries to convince Cindy that she has to forgive. Because I guess we found somebody who's more evil than the mean one, which was the mayor, which got killed. So she got what she deserved, I guess. It's incredible how they managed to do that. Yeah, so he's trying to convince her basically that she should just like not kill it and just try to forgive it,
Yeah, so as it happened originally, then Cindy forgave the mean one for everything he did, for stealing Christmas originally, right?
That was the original
Timeline.
The original timeline, yes. And then this story happens in a different timeline, I guess, from that one, where she doesn't forgive him and she hates him for it. Which makes more sense in my opinion, but she's not convinced at all. Like she's like, nah, I'm gonna kill this thing. And so Burke, because he's really just more trying to protect her than anything else at this point, he decides to go and kill the mean one before it gets to her. So he goes in the mountain with a gun and a lamp and a lantern, and this is in my opinion the funniest scene in the movie. He, in order to lure the creature, he tries to sing Christmas music. But because he's Jewish, he doesn't know the lyrics to the song. And he messes it up. And so he tries to sing Hanukkah music. And it works somehow. It has the same effect.
I agree with him. It was pretty amusing.
I guess
He is rescued by the sheriff, right? Who totally has a
yeah. So now
like his redemption arc.
An insane redemption arc. Like he decides to essentially so. Burke was going to face off against the Mean One to prevent Cindy from facing off against the Mean One, and the sheriff decides to go face off the Mean One himself to prevent Burke from facing the Mean One. It's oh man, and then he gets easily killed. It's interesting because he's I don't remember what he's singing, but he's singing something while he's shooting the darkness somehow.
It's Jingle Bells, I think.
He's just shooting like the darkness, and you just see the creature just like dodging really quickly the bullets, and then he gets murdered. So
I think it's Cindy that saves her, right?
Yeah.
He asked her to do what she has to do and take her down, and she activates her trap, essentially. She and Doc are just waiting inside the house with all their holiday-themed stuff. She's inside the house. He's out in a position, like, spotting her, trying to snipe the thing when he can. But yeah, the creature is pretty smart. He lets onto this plan and kills, or tries to kill. Yeah, he kills Dr. Seuss, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's interesting, the choice here. This movie, the creature just killed its own creator.
Yeah, but before the creature does that, I remember that, and this is the part of the movie that I didn't actually understand. So if you could help me. So the creature attacks Zeus and gets him essentially bleeding out. But before it could get the final blow in the Cindy, they have an insane fight sequence with grenades that are also Christmas balls.
That she filled with explosives.
Yeah, just insane stuff. Meanwhile, this is the part that I don't get. Zeus gets into the car, like crawls into the car and activates and turns on the music, the radio at max volume. And I didn't recognize the song, but apparently that song had a almost kryptonite effect on the creature. Like the creature covers its ears in pain or something. I didn't really get that.
It's the original song that they sang in the original story.
Ah, okay.
That's why it affected them.
There we go. They, I think at this point, yeah, Zeus bleeds out, and they have a final showdown between the Mean One and Cindy. And man, they have some moves. She manages to explode him with a. This is some like stuff straight out of Home Alone. This is just some insane contraptions that I love it. By the way, like Cindy, I really appreciate your craftsmanship in building traps.
This is no longer a horror movie, by the way. After that montage, he went straight up to action, as you said.
Yeah, exactly. She manages to get the best of him, and just when she's about to, I guess, do the final blow. So imagine the creature is laying face up on the ground. She's on top of him, quote unquote, and she's grabbing.
She notices something.
Yeah, there is something on his, like a pendant, on his neck.
Hanging on his neck.
And it's the pendant that she gave him all those years ago, before.
As she was forgiving him.
Yeah.
Before Mother came in. Yeah.
Yeah. And that apparently is enough to change her opinion of this.
Go on.
Yeah, of the green one. And she forgives him and kisses his forehead or something. Like It's and
There's a
apparently
little there's a little flashback to him filled with angst and regret for what he did, and being called a monster by Cindy just completely wrecked him.
yeah.
And so when you go on.
When the furry one gets kissed,
For real.
his heart grows. Apparently, like we hear the beating heart grows inside of his chest and explodes, and he dies. Like, yeah,
Well, yeah. And that's pretty much it. She decides to stay in town after that. They have a happy ever after. Obviously, this stuff is blowing up, though. It's no longer, they can no longer hide it. The existence of the mean one is everywhere.
yeah.
Christmas comes back to Newville, sorry. And everyone is rejoicing in their holiday cheer, and people looking for the mean one. So we're led to believe that everything is over.
And the narrator finishes off the movie with my favorite line probably in the movie, because this whole time this is a reference to obviously
A fairy tale, not a fairy tale,
Right.
but yeah,
the
So-
narration of Dr. Seuss, the that kind
the
of
rhyming.
the rhythmic, it's a song essentially.
Mhm.
And so it's been rhyming this whole time, and it ends with the verse, and they lived happily forever after. I think it's something like that. And when he said that, I noticed that, wait a minute, this doesn't rhyme with the previous verse.
Mhm.
And that's when he completes the verse, at least until next year. And that was like, oh, and we even hear, I think, a laugh or something.
A growl.
A growl, yeah. Man, that was nice. I like that twist. I really like that twist.
Oh yeah, that's it for the mean one.
Yeah, I guess, how do we even analyze this? It's like,
Well, it's a perversion of the beloved, I could say.
in my opinion, it's an improvement. Honestly, it's
Well, I didn't say perversion bad.
yes, the good kind of perversion. Because
But in all honesty, the acting in this movie is atrocious. I could barely stomach this.
I can't tell if it's on purpose. Some of it, I don't think it is. No, it's not like for example with Velocipaster, where you can clearly tell the acting is done on purpose.
Overacting, yeah, on purpose. In this
Here,
case,
I feel like- yeah.
Oh boy.
Oof, yeah. It was bad sometimes. Yeah.
But there isn't much of an analysis to do about this. I mean, the movie did it had a nice idea. It had just lacking in execution, I think. But then again, with this amount of budget, what else could you have done?
And not to mention, like, how much better could you make a movie about the green one killing people? It's
It's a gimmick.
yeah. I feel like there's not much you can do with it
Mm-hmm.
other than this, and I think they did a good job in a way. The writing, I guess, was okay. The acting was not okay. Yeah, the acting was.
Well, some of it was okay.
The jokes were funny. Some of them were really funny, in my opinion. So
Yeah, there were some Easter eggs and references for people who know Dr.
Yeah.
Seuss.
But that's the thing, though. Who is this movie for? Because is it for the
Dr.
original?
Seuss nerds? I don't
Yeah,
know.
but like, is it like it seems like a really niche thing.
Extremely niche.
Because
I was
it's
about to say
people
that,
who know and are fans of Dr. Seuss's work, but are also fans of gory horror and dark humor. And it's like
Mhm.
the Venn diagram of those two groups must be like
Us.
must be like us, yeah. must be like a line at this point. Must be, you could barely see. You would have to zoom in. You would
It's
have
a
to
dot.
enhance. Yes.
I know that they did get David Howard Thornton, the gentleman who plays Art the Clown in Terrifier and Hallows Eve, and
Nice.
I mean, you can tell that the guy really enjoys making this kind of stuff, or at least that's what, because it feels so natural.
Hmm. It is a shame that the because of that whole can't show the creature a lot, blah blah,
Mhm.
rule of horror. They kind of they don't show his face a lot, his facial expressions, because I feel like even the he has like a mask or something that doesn't
Yeah, the
move.
top of his face definitely. I know that his mouth wasn't in a mask.
Yeah, yeah. And there was another variant of this movie, I guess, of the story. Was it what was the actor that played the
Another
green?
version of this movie.
No, not of this movie, but of the story.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I feel like with Jim Carrey's interpretation of this guy, um, was, I don't know, but I feel like in terms of because Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. We all know how insane he is and he acts, and I think his acting was better. I feel like it was because
Different kind of movie.
right, it's a different kind of movie, but I feel like the makeup was better
Of
on that.
course,
Like you could actually
different kind of budget.
true, different kind of budget. Yeah, I think they with what they had, they did an interesting job.
It was a fun little brainless movie, I guess. I found it funny that they had to reset the timeline and put everything like it was, so she still ends up forgiving him, and his heart explodes. But even though it ended like a in a sort of open-ended kind of thing, as if like you're not really sure if it died or not,
Hmm.
don't make another one.
No, yeah, please don't.
There's no substance here.
Like, yeah, there's nothing like it. We are so sick of pointless, or at least I am, of pointless sequels, and it's just stop. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make another one though. I feel like this is.
I know that they're going to make a second Winnie the Pooh.
Wait, what?
You didn't know about that?
I didn't know about that. Blood and wait, like a
You don't
horror?
know you don't know the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Uh, no, I was not aware of this, and now I'm curious.
Remind me after we're done.
All right, we should check that. Is there anything else to talk about? How I guess this Newville is essentially an SCP foundation for this one creature.
Is a what?
Right. So I feel like I've talked about the SCP Foundation before.
Oh, yeah.
It's that internet,
Yeah. You have.
mythology
Mhm.
thing, the new mythology, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I still haven't
It's
I still haven't gotten around to read it.
yeah, we need to talk about it some other time. But yeah, it's essentially because their objective is it's like the society or this organization that their objective is to secure, contain, and protect these entities that are supernatural. So like we are, I guess, but they it's kind of annoying because they treat us like animals in a way. It's like a zoo. I guess
Mhm.
that's the best way I can describe it. It's a zoo for monsters, I guess.
All right.
And yeah, it reminded me of that a little bit with the way that they
Yeah,
were
I
like
can see the
feeding,
similarities.
feeding and keeping it inside of that mountain.
Mhm.
And, yeah.
Yeah, but there isn't much. I mean, I'm fully behind the monster. Let's get rid of everything that smells like Christmas.
Oh yes, absolutely. Christmas. We all know what the real winter holiday is.
Do you even want to rate this movie?
I'm gonna rate this movie 3 candy canes out of 10 dreidels.
I was gonna give it 2 means out of 10 ones.
Nice. That's a better one, yeah. But yeah,
Alright.
go ahead.
The candles are out, the circles have been erased, and we will let silence reign again. The Grymm Mansion is closing its gates for the night. Have a horrible night, and until we meet you again.
Merry Yule!
I need to watch a comfort movie after this.
Have a horrible holiday season. Have a horror. No, I can't. Horror day season? No. That's awful. Just end it.